training camp, obviously, but both of you kind of like joined this team mid-season. What was the experience like, just kind of coming in and yeah?
Yeah, I feel like for me, I feel like I've been here the whole season. Really, even the time I was at home, I was always like tuned in and watching all the games. So, yeah, I mean, this group has embraced me when I came in, and just felt like I picked up right where I left off. So, just super thankful for the opportunity to even come back here and finish the season out with them.
Yeah, similar to LA. When I came here, everybody was very welcoming and had such great energy that made the transition very easy, and they all helped me very well. It's only been a month and a half, but I felt like I was here the whole year, the way I was able to like make connections and build bonds in such a short time. So I had a great, experience.
Just to follow up on that, Kaila, like you were playing on like a bunch of 7-day contracts and you turned yourself into a starter and a key contributor to this team. Like, what was that experience like, just playing on these 7-day contracts?
Honestly, they were quite honest with me when I first came and said, it's gonna be 7 days. So I didn't really have any expectation. I was just gonna make the most of every day I got, and it just turned into another week and then the rest of the season. And that was like the best possible situation that it could happen. And so I was really thankful and happy for that. And that was my main thing. I wanted to help the team. And that was in any way that I possibly could. And so I was glad that I was able to make some type of impact and help in any way I could.
For either of you guys, but for a franchise that's new, that's just breaking in as an expansion team, how was this team able to sustain a continuity regardless of who was in and out of the lineup this year?
Yeah, it's not an easy thing to do, and I think we luckily made it look easy. I think we bought into everything that the coaching staff has brought to us, and the biggest thing is that we were happy for whoever was in the room. Whether it was my night, whether it's Kai's night, whether it's whoever's night, we're happy for that person, and that makes for a great team, and that makes for very unselfish play.
Laeticia, just going off of that, when you came back on the team, there was the fun TikTok that you guys did. It seems that the bond, and Kaila, you can chime in on this as well, but it seems like the bond between you guys as a team has been really special and something that you don't always see on other teams. Can you just talk to that and kind of the bonds you've made with your teammates this season?
Yeah, this has been by far my favorite season, almost of my entire career. Honestly, I think just being able to come into work and genuinely be happy and joyous and have just energy from whether it's from strength staff, whether it's nutritionists, whether it's the people that make our food, like everybody's just so happy, and we don't take those moments for granted, and that energy, even if you come in with a frown on your face, like you're gonna end up laughing, just because everybody's just so happy. So it's really propelled us to new heights. Being able to make playoffs and all those things really came from the bond that we created off the court.
Obviously, this is a pretty eventful off-season coming up with CBA and everything like that. Both of you guys have been through being cut, joining teams mid-season, and all of that. How do you guys kind of look at an off-season of change, and what would you like to see it be accomplished in this off-season?
I think, just it's a good problem to have. We're expanding. The league is getting bigger. There's room for more players. Hopefully, we can come to an agreement soon and we're able to start the next season on time and stuff. But just in general, I'm just looking forward to more competition, more cities, more outreach, inspiring the next generation. And now we're moving to Toronto and having a crowd out there, and just looking forward to finding a home and being on the team. Hopefully that's here, but with the expansion draft, you never know, but just excited for the future.
And you mentioned just how joyous this season was, but it also was a very historic one, kind of first of many. Is there a memory or a moment that you're gonna hold with you into your career and in your life?
Honestly, I think it's the little things like going out to eat. The morning before a game, we would just always go out to eat and have breakfast together, and just all those moments together where you can get to build new friendships. I think that's the biggest thing for me. And then obviously playing in Valhalla is like one of the best atmospheres that I've ever been in, and the fans are amazing, the city's amazing, and being able to walk around and seeing WNBA stuff posted everywhere, that's very rare. So I hope that just keeps happening with all the WNBA cities as well.
Yes, like she said, just the bonds and like the relationships we built here. Valhalla is unreal. Like when I first experienced it, it's amazing. Like even yesterday, we came into the locker room, we couldn't even hear because it was so loud. But it was just a great, it's a great experience. And I think for me also, just like when we clinched and we were able to do that in front of our home crowd, I think that was one of the moments that like really stuck to me. And it was just such a happy moment. And even though I was like, I just came in and didn't do too much to help, it was just really happy to be a part of that and just see everybody just really excited.
Laeticia, you really improved your free throw shooting this year over your first 2 years in the WNBA. I was curious, how big of an emphasis was that for you coming into this season, and where would you like to grow your game next?
Absolutely. I think my game is one that allows me to get to the line a lot, and obviously you want to be able to convert every time you get to the line. So that was a big emphasis for me. Obviously, it just came with being more poised. I feel like obviously your first 2 years, you come into the game, with not much time left, and now you're just freaking out and you're not really taking the time to concentrate. And I think that was the biggest thing, just switching my mental focus when it came to free throws. And yeah, I just want to be a more overall fluid player. Being able to let the game come to me and make great reads. Being somebody that's tough to defend. Whether it's expanding to the 3-point line, mixing in my reads and getting to the rim. That's really where I want to see my game, and I know that that's going to be a big point of emphasis this offseason for me.
Question for both of you. We've been asking everyone this, but what are your off-season plans? I know it's season just ended, but what are the off-season plans?
So I am going to play overseas in Italy against Chechi, but my first things first is I'm going home, getting some much-needed rest. I'm going to visit my grandmother back home in Trinidad, and then I'll start a new season. So just trying to get as much time as possible, kind of resting, resetting before going into the next one and then coming into another one. But that's my plans.
This year I will be going overseas for a short stint, and then I have some other stuff in the works as well that I'm excited to do. And I think just this offseason is going to be one that it's really been kind of a first for me, being able to get on the court, kind of treated that in some regard like my rookie season, being able to actually get some burn on the court. So take all those things and work on my body, work on my shot, and just work on my game this offseason.
Question for you ladies. I know you were so busy focused on basketball, you didn't have a chance maybe to see the Bay much. Did you, either one of you, have a chance to go around San Francisco or Oakland much to see what the area has to offer, any sightseeing that you might have done?
Yes, I think my first few weeks here, I made an emphasis of just getting out and exploring. I was in a hotel, so I didn't want to stay in there for too long. But I was able to go down to Chinatown, the Golden Gate Bridge. I actually walked the bridge, and the other side was closed, so I had to walk back. But I went to the Painted Ladies, so I got to see a little bit of San Francisco, not everywhere, so I got to come back.
Yeah, I got some time to do hop off, hop on bus, so learned a lot about the history, went to the Golden Gate Bridge. I had one of my mentees come here that was a part of a program, and that was the first time in the United States, so I was able to show her around as well. And we kind of were just two tourists, learning about the city. And it's just so big that we obviously didn't get to do everything, but just hit the big ones like the Golden Gate Bridge and things like that.
Hopefully you took a cable car?
Did I do a quick cable car? No, the line was so long. There's a long line for those things, but no, I did take pictures of it though. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Good luck in the office.
Go Hawks.
Thank you guys for being